black beauties, both wear tuxedos. One is from Gibson's golden era, the 57 reissue. The other's a modern powerhouse straight out of Gibson's custom shop. Today we're putting them head to head to see which Les Paul Custom truly rules the throne. On the right we have a vintage reissue 57 Les Paul Custom, dripping with vintage appointments and the magic of yesteryear. On the left we have the 57's modern counterpart. The result of 60 years of refinement. Both look like royalty, but crucially both have their own personalities. First up, we are checking out the 57 reissue. When you take a look at this guitar, the thing that jumps out first is the binding. So they do a yellow lacquer on this, and the binding that's white on the regular custom is yellow on this. So it really jumps out. Now, the next thing that jumps out is the neck profile. This is a 50s medium C rounded neck. Gibson have been making them like this for years, but what's really interesting with this particular neck, it does have a taper, so it gets a bit chunkier towards the 12th fret. And while on paper it might be a chunky neck, it doesn't have big shoulders like some other necks do, so it feels really comfortable in the hand. Something that's well worth addressing with a lot of Les Pauls in general, especially the Les Paul reissues, is the weight. Now, this one is a really nice weight. It feels very comfortable to hold. I don't know the exact weight on it, but it doesn't feel cumbersome or overbearing. And when you put it on your legs, something that most Les Pauls do is they want to slide off. And as you can see, this one's balanced really nicely. Now, next up, let's talk about some of the finer details on here. So this is fitted with the Gibson ABR1 bridge. This is a no-wire bridge, just like they used to do back in 57. It's also got some waffle back tuners on there as well, which I absolutely love, and the sort of original style ink stamped serial number 2. Let's jump on to the pickups. Now, these are Gibson custom Bucker Alnico 3 pickups. They're very warm sounding, totally different to the other Les Paul Custom. Very vintagey sounding and very sort of open and honest as well. Now let's check out the other Les Paul Custom. Okay, so we're on to the modern counterpart, the new Les Paul Custom. Now, instantly, it's a slightly heavier guitar, but I mean, it's still quite nicely balanced. I would say, I mean, it sits nicely, just like the other one, so that's really good. They both have 50s rounded C neck profiles, but this one feels totally different. It's got a bit of a taper. It does get a bit chunkier towards the 12th fret, but not by the same amount. They almost feel a little bit flatter, the modern customs, but still, it's a very nice neck to play anyway. Now, I'd mentioned about the yellowing of the lacquer and having that yellow binding. This one doesn't have it. It has that really pristine white looking binding on there, which I think some players will prefer. When we got down to some of the other details about the bridge and things, we were talking about the ABR no-wire one, which they would have had in 57. This has got the more modern Nashville bridge in, so basically the saddles don't fall out when you restring them. It's a nice touch, really. Now, this doesn't have the waffle back tuners. It has Grover Rotomatics on there. Still gold, still looking lovely. But it does have an ink stamped serial number on here too, which is very cool. Let's talk about the pickups. In the bridge position, we've got a 498T and in the neck, a 490R. These pickups are slightly more brittle than I would say you'd have in the 57, those custom Bucker Alnico 3s. What they're really useful for though is if you want, something that's going to be working well with high gain sounds, or if you want to cut through the mix, these pickups are ideal. So that's each guitar introduced. Let's put them back to back, hear them with some clean tones speaking naturally. Okay, well there's each one back to back with a clean tone. Now, I'm sure by now you've made your own sort of opinions on how you think it sounds, which would be great to hear in the comments below as well. My opinion, it's really interesting actually. So there's something going on with this guitar that there isn't with the 57 and vice versa. I think we're going to hear a little bit more when we add some more detail, you know, heat things up with some gain, but just on that clean sound there, picking, strumming a couple of bits. This one actually has a little bit more low mid-range in there, which I wasn't expecting. It still has that sort of slightly more brittle top end versus the 57 Custom, but yeah, it's got a little bit more chunk to it as well. The 57 does have this very cool hollowed out mid-range, which I absolutely love. So let's add some gain and give them another go. Okay, so there's both with sort of moderate amount of gain added to them. The first thing that jumped out at me when I went from the 57 reissue to the more modern Custom is the amount of gain it added. Now, it could be slight difference in pickup heights, but to be honest with you, I mean, it just sounded a little bit more sort of creamy and rounded, if that's the right term to use for it. What I did really like about the 57, where I mentioned that hollowed out mid-range, it definitely sounded a bit more bluesy, whereas this one sounds more like a rock guitar. All right, now it's time to really heat things up with some serious overdrive. We're going to use the same tone we were just using, but we're going to add a DoD looking glass into it as well. Okay, so there's both ones on sort of a bit more of a serious lead tone there. Now, they both sound totally different to me. I'm hoping this is coming across really well on the microphones as well. Again, this one had more gain to it. I thought actually, in terms of how smooth they both felt, I'm surprised. I thought the 57 felt a little bit smoother to play some of the lead lines with, whereas this one just felt like a little bit more like it was resisting. Overall, in terms of sustain, 57 just edged it, and I do mean just. But if I was out gigging with one of these two guitars, if I wanted a guitar just to be playing sort of like high gain lead stuff, I think this one, the modern Les Paul Custom, would just edge it for me. What really stands out is that both of these guitars are aiming for the same concept. They just go at it from a different perspective. If someone said to me, hey Sam, which one should I buy out of these two? I would say it's really hard to tell. It's down to the person's own preference. Now, if you want to buy a guitar that's bedded in, feels like it's been on the road for 60 years, the 57 is the one. You know, with all the yellowed lacquer and stuff like that on there, it's very cool, feels very worn in. However, if you want to buy a guitar that's brand new and feels brand new, and is one that's going to take on your own personality and age with you, absolutely buy the more modern Custom. What I would really love to know is what you thought of both of them, how you thought each one sounded, which one you prefer the looks of as well, even down to the small details like the speed knobs versus the bell knobs, things like that is really cool. So do let us know. If you want to find out any more about either guitar shown in today's video, the links will be in the description below, and any of the other gear as well. And as always, thanks for watching.